We can't stay in this mansion anymore. Ethan Burke is a fun-loving, happy-go-lucky guy. But he's also very much spoiled and lives life without thinking about the consequences. Back when Ethan was in college, he spent much of his time doing all the crazy things. And studies were the least of Ethan's priorities. Thanks for lending me the money. I really needed this car. Don't worry about it. Ethan was so much into enjoying life that he even went to the extent of loaning money from his friends just so he could have fun. For Ethan, his wants were his priorities rather than his needs. Dude, awesome car! Wait, have you even figured how you're gonna pay this off? We can always kidnap you and take ransom from your dad. Dude, his family doesn't even have the money to pay off his student debt. One of these days, his dad is gonna kidnap on a bus. This was Stefan and Mark, Ethan's best friends. While Stefan was the outgoing, athletic one who tagged along with Ethan on his adventures, Mark was the calculated, smart, and overcautious one, because hanging out with Ethan meant getting into trouble with one of his spontaneous plans. Sophomore year went by pretty well for Ethan. But it was before his final year. Due to a sudden family tragedy, Ethan had to drop out. Even though Ethan wasn't rich, he belonged to a well-to-do family. But after his father's demise, things changed. Suddenly, the harsh reality of life hit him. Ethan couldn't find himself a good job, ended up working odd jobs which didn't suffice to pay off daily necessities, let alone the house mortgage. And eventually, the only thing he had to call his own was his car. But it was when he started working as a real estate broker, Ethan's situation started to get better. And now, after almost 10 years, Ethan was one of the top real estate agents in the States. He met a young woman who was from a wealthy, respected family. And yes, she took a lot out of his bank account, but they were in love and were planning to get married soon. On the other hand, after Stefan graduated, he invested himself in the agriculture business, transporting goods in and out of the country, and was doing well. And Mark was now working as an engineer at one of the biggest construction companies in Florida. Despite going absolutely 3 different ways, Ethan and Stefan were still good friends, and now and then they met Mark as well. One morning while at the office, Ethan got a call from Stefan. Dude, I got a big customer for you. I'm in Brazil right now. I came here for a delivery and I met the Costellos. They have a mansion here they want to sell to an American company, but they were searching for an American broker to estimate the price. So I told them about you. And if you're up for it, they'll send you tickets to the flight and cover the cost of the travel too. So what do you say? Sounds like a vacation. Totally, having the time of my life. Brazilian women are the best, dude. And hey, you're not married yet. Count me in. Ethan was quite excited about the deal. This wasn't just a big opportunity to make good money, but to have some good fun. So he contacted the Costellos, and the following weekend received first-class tickets to Brazil, and better, bookings at a luxury hotel. Welcome to Brazil, Mr. Burke. I'm Albert Costello, and this is my wife, Sophia. It's nice to meet you. Ethan got some rest before they all planned to drive to the mansion the next morning. Laying in bed, he called up Stefan. But unsurprisingly, he didn't pick up, probably enjoying himself. The next morning, Ethan and the Costellos set off on their journey. The mansion is a colonial building. It was built back in the time when the Portuguese colonized the country. I got this mansion through family inheritance, but now it has become a liability for us. It's located in a remote area, and all these years there's been a lot of wear and tear. We had an engineer inspect the building, but the renovation costs were really high, and maintaining the building was difficult as is. So we were hoping you would find us a good deal for the property. Alright, I'll try my best. It was a few hours' journey, but the view of the jungles around them was absolutely amazing. But when Mr. Costello parked in front of the old building, Ethan wasn't quite so impressed anymore. In what year was this building constructed? It's about 200 years old. The elderly couple took him around, showing him some rooms that needed total renovation and some rooms in better conditions. Mr. Costello, if you don't mind me asking, this building needs quite the repair. How were you staying here? We had the south wing of the building repaired, so when we come, we can stay there. The Costellos then showed Ethan the southern wing. A few bedrooms and a small kitchen and bathroom had been renovated. After checking out the first floor, the Costellos escorted Ethan upstairs, where Mr. Costello opened a door. We know the building isn't in a good condition, but we were hoping to get a good price on the property, especially for this room. Curiously, Ethan stepped inside, but it was dark. Is there a light in this room? Yes, just to your left. But as soon as Ethan took another step, he suddenly couldn't feel the floor beneath him and fell straight under, landing heavy on the ground below. "Mr. Costello, help! Get me out of here!" Ethan shouted. But to his shock, from the gaping hole, he watched as the Costellos closed the door. "Hey, hey, get me out!" But all Ethan could hear was their footsteps walking away. That idiot Stefan, I should have never listened to him. Got me stuck with these people, and what is that smell? Ethan took out his phone and was about to make a call when he realized he didn't have any network. Great, now what? Turning on the flashlight on his phone, Ethan looked around to see he was in a closed room. There were no windows, and only a single door to the corner that had been covered over by the rubble. Ethan shined his light upwards to get a view of a window upstairs. How am I going to get up there? Ethan sighed, checking out the room. There were vines and roots growing along the walls. Ethan turned around, when suddenly he froze, seeing something move in the corner. Hearing a strange noise, Ethan looked closely to see a cluster of snakes turned towards the light. But what was worse was the body on which they were feasting, swollen up and decaying, emitting a putrid odor. Ethan widened his eyes, noticing the watch on the wrist. Stefan? Stefan? He stumbled back, seeing the snakes approach him, hurried to break off a branch from the vines. Ethan swung the branch around, trying to throw the snakes away. But in the process, he suddenly felt a stinging pain on his leg as he got a bite. The reaction began almost instantly as Ethan felt the burning sensation spread through his limb. Somehow managing to scare the snakes off, Ethan sat down to a corner. Ethan stared at Stefan's remains, feeling sick. Was he too going to end up like him? As the first few hours went by in sheer agony, as the poison continued to overcome him, the pain became worse by the second. Ethan stared at the time on his phone. It was 10 p.m. now. It had been almost 5 hours since he arrived. Hearing his phone beep with a battery alert, Ethan's heart began to race. There were only moments till the light would go out, and then he would be in the dark with these snakes. Ethan had never felt this helpless before. As he leaned back, thinking about his life, remembering the good days, those college days when he used to lead a wild life. He remembered all the good friends he had. He remembered Marissa. She was always there for him. Marissa. Ethan chuckled in his agony. He sat up, suddenly noticing a figure emerge from the darkness. Is it hurting a lot? Marissa? Don't stay here. Quickly get out. There are snakes here. Nothing can give me pain anymore, Ethan. I am no more. What? Back in his college days, Ethan might not have been a good student, but he was quite popular among his classmates. And of his classmates was a girl named Marissa. Over the days, they became good friends, and it wasn't long after that friendship turned into love. Marissa was head over heels for Ethan. She knew he had the most unreasonable wants. But being in love with him, Marissa always tried to do whatever would make him happy. From helping him out with his papers, to lending him money now and then. Even when it came to the craziest wants like buying a car, Marissa and Ethan were happy together, having fun and enjoying themselves. But in all this, it was one day that Marissa found out she was pregnant. So she decided to tell Ethan. But that evening, when she came to his dorm room, she was shocked to see another girl step out. I'll see you later, Ethan. Who was that? No one, just a friend. So what's up? Ethan, I have something to tell you. What? I'm pregnant. Wait, what? You can't be serious. We used protection. How did this happen? It failed. But I'm not ready for this. I'm only in college. I know, and that won't be an issue, Ethan. My family is well-to-do, and my parents have always been there for me. Let's get married. They'll support us, and we'll figure a way together. No. That's not possible. Why not? I thought you were serious about us. If not now, we would have eventually gotten married. What? Have you gone mad? We were just having fun. When did things become so serious? Marissa, I need a break. Struggling through the pain, Ethan asked, "What happened to you? Where did you go? Why did you leave?" I had to. You don't know what Stefan did to me. Unable to think straight, Ethan barged out of the room. leaving Marissa all alone. When all of a sudden, the door opened and Stefan walked in. "Marissa, are you crying?" Seeing Marissa in that condition, Stefan tried to console her. But it was soon that Marissa understood he was taking it in the wrong direction. "So what if Ethan won't date you? There are other men. We can date." "Stop it, Stefan." As Stefan tried to have his way with her, Marissa resisted him with disgust. "What do you think of yourself? You're too good for me? Pretending to be an innocent girl? I'll make you lose that innocence in seconds." Stefan took advantage of me. I didn't know. Why didn't you tell me, Marissa? Why did you leave? I wish, if only I knew, I would have taken his life with my own hands. Marissa, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Reaching his breaking point, everything started to go black, and Ethan fell unconscious. When he woke up, he was startled to find himself in a hospital. He tried to get up when he realized he no longer had a leg. It had been amputated. "Mr. Burke, you're awake. I'll call the doctor." "Wait, who brought me here?" "An elderly couple dropped you off. They didn't give us any contact information apart from this letter they left for you." As the nurse left, Ethan anxiously opened the letter. Marissa was our most beloved only child. We never let her shed a tear. We never let that smile fade from her face. We always tried to keep our daughter happy, trying to fulfill her every dream. It was because she wanted to study abroad that we arranged all we could and sent her to America. And even when we struggled with money, we made sure to send her money so she wouldn't go through the struggle. But one day, the daughter we always saw so happy, so cheerful, returned home without a smile. The daughter we never let shed a tear would secretly cry in her room at night. The daughter that used to brighten our home and make us laugh was suddenly so quiet. And it was one night we discovered that daughter of ours was no more. Marissa took her own life. In her post-mortem report, we found out she had been 3 months pregnant, but recently had a miscarriage and was taken advantage of. When she was alive, we tried speaking to her, and after her death, we tried everything to find out what happened with her. But couldn't find any answers. The child that never shed a tear living with us. Now, after her death, her cries can be heard in that very mansion. Hearing her every night, we couldn't take the pain, the agony. But in all these years, the condition of our home had become inhospitable. We can't stay in this mansion anymore. But we stayed there because of all the memories we had with Marissa. We were hurt, but living there made us feel as if Marissa were around us. So we decided to hire an engineer to renovate our home, and incidentally met Mark. Marissa, we were classmates, but she suddenly left mid-semester. After learning everything that happened to Marissa, Mark told us about you and Stefan. That day, Mark had seen Marissa crying as she left your room. But he didn't know what happened. But things became clear. Your friend deserved much worse for what he did with our daughter. And you would have had the same fate, but Marissa truly loved you. That night, we could hear you crying in pain from our room. But we felt content, for you had made our daughter suffer much more. But for the first time that night, we saw Marissa with our own eyes. Mom, Dad, don't do this to Ethan. Don't hurt him like this. I loved him. Perhaps you experienced pain. Perhaps now you will struggle in your life. But compared to the pain we experienced, and the pain we have to live with, what happened to you is nothing.
Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting.